Hello everyone, it's a guy. It's a guy on YouTube. It's a voice in a video, and welcome to that video and the awkward introduction to the video. Uh, Sorry about that. The title is really self-explanatory. Former anime addict tries to guess which anime has a higher rating on my anime list. I used to be an addict. I really did. When I used to watch like 20 seasonal anime for the span of 4 or 5 years, where I would be speeding through episodes on a weekly basis just because I thought like that's how you inflate the number of things you watched. I stopped around 2018, 2019, which was really when I stepped away from the cultural zeitgeist of anime and manga in general. I still occasionally watch anime that I am interested in or adaptation of a manga that I used to love back when it didn't have an adaptation. And I do read manga these days rather frequently, especially the ones that I've been following for years. So yeah, I have some remnant knowledge and some hearsay from what I've heard online. I am not ingratiated essentially with the anime culture these days to know. Like if I get free reign, I know that it's the highest like rated anime of all time, so that's a freebie for me. Even though I watched like 4 episodes of it, but it's really just these like passing bouts of knowledge. So let's just jump in and I am immediately shooketh. I haven't watched anything JoJo related. I have watched Mushi 10 years ago, maybe, and it was fine. I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as most other people did. For me, it was just kind of too slow from what I remember. Um, I know that JoJo was like a phenomenon, but it's also kind of too mainstream to be super high rated. So I'm gonna gamble on the fact that this is a bit too niche for most people to have picked up, and only people interested in these types of stories have watched it, meaning that the rating is probably slightly higher. I could be wrong, legitimately, because again, I did not watch this, but I'm gonna gamble. Yeah, that's difficult to beat. Wow, that was actually closer than I expected. Um, I never watched Tensei. I've heard about it. I'm pretty sure I either read the manga or read a chapter of the light novel. I don't know which one it was based on. The reason why I say this is because I vaguely remember this face. Like that's really the only thing I know. Um, I'm gonna guess that this is higher just because 8.7 is like legitimately difficult to beat. I could be wrong because from what I do remember, there are at least parts of this adaptation that are like super high rated. I don't know if this one was it. Oh my god, that was close. Yeah, this one was like the higher rated one. Oh shit. Okay. I'm gonna guess this is like the re-adaptation of Fruits Basket that came out like 2, 3 years ago. I never enjoyed Fruits Basket, neither the manga nor the original one. I just kind of, it was too shoujo for me and too melodramatic, which is probably gonna be like an underlying continued storyline of me with these anime. From what I remember though, it was really well received and it had a high rating. Um, I am still not sure whether it was this high of a rating because, for all intents and purposes, it's still a romance story. But the issue is that it's a melodramatic one. The only way more romances on my anime list have a high rating is if they're melodramatic, and I don't know. Do I gamble? You know what? I'm gonna gamble. It was a bad gamble. It's still fairly high, but it was a bad gamble. Okay. Oh my god. I watched like 3 episodes of this, and it was even too much for me art style wise. I just wasn't vibing with it. I watched this ages ago. I barely. The only reason I know I even watched it was because of how distinctive the art style of the main character was. So it just sort of ingrained in my brain ever since then. I have no idea what any of these are rated as. I legitimately have no clue. So I'm just gonna gamble that it's this, even though I could be wrong. That was a gamble for the ages. Oh my god, Grand Blue. Grand Blue is a comedy that was super funny if you were into that type of humor. I'm gonna guess it's a higher rated one because it really broke into the mainstream, and that's very rare for comedies to do. Oh my god. Is this the one where it's like an uncomfortably realistic depiction of like the idol scene where a main character gets like reborn into the body of his something. I don't know. I just know that the premise was so insane that I didn't even bother reading manga. The only reason why I think that's it was because of the name. It's kind of flagging something in my brain. Um, I don't know, dude. From what I remember, that was well received, at least initially. But I don't know if it's either. I'm just gonna bank on what I know, and I should have known. Like melodrama on my anime list, dude. That shit tops the charts every single time. Um. Oh my god, Bakano. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. I haven't. I don't know what the fuck this is. I've never watched this. I watched this a long time ago. It was fine. It was a fine action anime if you're into that sort of thing. Nothing mind blowing. I'm pretty sure it's gonna have like around 8.1 or 8.2 because ratings on Mall are generally kind of inflated. So even something that was just like passingly good, passably good, uh, gets like overrated because of how much garbage there tends to be. So I'm just gonna bank on what I know, despite the fact that I'm probably wrong. Yeah, art style should have told me everything, dude. I am not good at this. Uh, I'm gonna go Great Teacher Onizuka because I love that anime, even though it's kind of outdated right now, both in art style as well as the way it covers topics. Because I'm pretty sure manga is from like the 80s, so a lot of stuff in terms of like school values, it feels kind of outdated. But when I watched it back in like 2008 or 9, I want to say, I loved it. So even though I'm probably wrong, I'm gonna go with Great Teacher Onizuka. Never mind, I'm not wrong. Thank you, my anime list. Thank you, classics. Shit. Um, I remember people being really into Tensei Shitara. I didn't get why, because I read manga. I read like 40 chapters of manga. It was just like it was just another isekai with a nominally overpowered main character that was kind of put into his place by a few characters. Maybe that's the reason why it became as popular as it did, because the main character didn't literally steamroll through everything. But for the most part, it was like, yeah, it was fine. I'm still gonna guess Great Teacher Onizuka because it's isekai. Like there are some people that are gonna give it one just on principle. Um, Kokoro Connect. Oh my god, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. I hated the first season of Kokoro Connect. I think I gave it like 4 out of 10 because of just how stupid it was. I gave sequel like 8 out of 10 because sequel was like 4 episode over, I'm pretty sure. So it wasn't even a sequel so much as we're like, hey, we don't have budget for the entire season. We just want to conclude the story. Here, have like 4 episodes of over. Um, Quality improved immensely between seasons, both in terms of like how tight the dialogue was, how it took a rather absurd premise and stopped taking it way too goddamn serious. Like that was my biggest issue with the first season of Kokoro Connect. It just took the fucking premise way too seriously. Just if it like took it down a notch and just played a little bit with the concept rather than being so melodramatic about it, it would have probably been rated higher because I'm pretty sure the Isekai is rated higher than Kokoro Connect. This is like 8.0 max. Actually, 8.1. I'm gonna say max 8.1. Any higher than that, I'd be shocked. Yeah. This was not well liked. Sequel was actually well liked because they took the absurdity of the premise and played around with it a little bit, stopped taking it as seriously. Hunter x Hunter, this is the original adaptation, despite the fact that it's quite a ways worse than the 2011 one. It was still a solid adaptation, honestly. I wouldn't say it did anything better than the remake, but it was solid enough to be way better than this. Like, it's gonna be way better than this. Yeah, 8.4. Oh, I don't think I ever finished Planet East because I was just bored out of my mind watching it. Animation though was mind blowing from what I remember. Um, I don't know if it's higher than 8.4 though. I'm just gonna bank on what I know. Yeah, yeah. Good gambling. It's gonna be Gintama. Anytime I see Gintama, it's probably gonna be higher rated because it's oh my god, golden time. I have a brief rant. I'm sorry, despite the fact that I know from the onset Gintama is higher. I don't want this to just be me making stupid guesses. I do want to kind of, give my takes so you guys can flame me in the comments. Golden Time has two anime in itself. It has a really solid like 8 out of 10 rom-com, and it has a really putrid 2 out of 10 melodramatic dramatic nonsense. First 12 episodes. When I recommend someone watch Golden Time, I say watch first 10-ish episodes and just stop. Like that's as good as it gets. The initial stages of the main character and the main girl developing a relationship were like really well written. It was kind of cute. It was kind of mature, the classic anime rom com. But once they stopped developing that and focused on like the quote unquote story, everything just collapsed. It was flames because the premise is like this guy has amnesia, right? And that's why love triangle makes sense, despite the fact that it really doesn't. So once they started focusing on the story, which was around episode 11 or 12, from what I remember, give or take, somewhere thereabout, the quality of the anime just plummeted. Like first 10ish episodes are 8 out of 10, like a solid rom-com with some really funny gags. The rest of the anime is like a solid 2 out of 10, if that. So yeah, it's gonna be Gintama by a mile. Because it wasn't well liked, which is strange because melodramas on my anime list are usually highly rated, which tells you just how bad this one was. It's gonna be Natsume. I haven't watched Natsume, I'm pretty sure. I had it on my plan to watch list for years, and I just never got around to watching it. But I know that it was solidly rated, especially sequels. I think sequels. Oh my god. I vaguely remember watching like an episode of Standalone Complex, and I just wasn't vibing with it because I'm not that much into anime sci-fi. I prefer sci-fi manga form because in anime sci-fi, especially in the like last 10, 15 years from what I've seen, they over rely on CGI way too much and it just clashes with like the rest of the stuff. So I prefer sci-fi manga. Um, I have no idea how well this is rated. I'm just gonna go with Natsume, which is I mean, I got to 8. Like my goal for today, I forgot to state it, is to get to 10. If I can get to 10, I'm gonna be a happy dude. Hey, get out of here, Internet Download Manager. Oh my god. I haven't watched Yokuko. I've heard decent things about it. I have watched Plastic Memories, and I know for a fact this is one of those melodramas that is super inflated in terms of rating, but I also know this one is well rated, so this is why I'm in a quagmire. I did not like Plastic Memories. I watched 2 episodes, and I was either bored out of my mind or just pissed off at how melodramatic it was being. It's a trend that you're gonna notice with me. Like I have very specific tastes when it comes to dramatic stories, and I am not tolerant of melodrama whatsoever. Like I don't vibe with that shit. So please, please, please do not hate me too much when I inevitably crap on some of your favorite anime of all time. It's just my personal preference. My favorite anime of all time has like 8.2 rating on my anime list, so I am not better than you in any capacity, trust me. It's just my vibes. I'm gonna bank on melodrama because, in terms of my anime list ratings, that's usually a good bet. So let's see how wrong I am. I am supremely wrong. Apparently, this wasn't nearly as liked as I thought it was. I went on this rant where I was like, I am so different than my anime list guys. And it turns out I really wasn't. Psychopaths is higher rated than Claymore, despite the fact that I actually like Claymore more, especially in manga. It's fine overall, but Claymore at its peak has some of the best monster designs of all time. Like it even surpasses stuff like Berserk. In terms of like how creative some of the monsters are, especially like in the midsection of manga around chapter 80 to chapter 100. Some of the monster designs are literally out of this world. Anime itself has an anime only ending that's not really that good. To be fair, manga ending isn't that good either, despite the fact that I enjoyed it a decent amount because it's sort of a happy ending. Um, I still recommend Claymore because if it came out today with slightly upended art style and animation quality, I think it could have become really popular. I really do. Psychopaths though was like a really solid sci-fi action anime that I enjoyed a decent amount. Not as much as Claymore, but I enjoyed it, and it's much better received than Claymore. Yeah, that's what I expected thereabout. Okay, on. I don't think K-On! Is higher rated than Psychopaths, despite the fact that I'm like vastly certain that this is way more popular than this. Um, this anime sort of became a phenomenon like around 2010s in a sense that people were just kind of review bombing it because it's just about cute girls playing music and people didn't like that because you gotta be pretentious prick if you're into anime. um I still don't think that it might actually be higher than 8.3. Like I think it's around 8.4 just because of how big it got. And it had a lot of fans. I don't know if it fizzled out and it has any place in like modern cultural zeitgeist of anime, but back in the day, yeah, I know grandpa talk. Uh, this used to be fairly big, so I'm gonna bank and gamble on that. Though I might be wrong. I was wrong, but not by much. It's gonna be Natsume again. Pantheon Stalking was surprisingly not that well received here in the West. From what I understand, it was just too absurdist of an art style. I enjoyed it for the most part. It was kind of cool. But yeah, Natsume has way higher rating. That's not even a question. We have 2011 Hunter x Hunter. If you go by ratings, I'm pretty sure this is like the second highest rated shonen of all time, just behind Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Um, it's like 9.0, yeah, 9.03. Uh, One of the best adaptations of one of the best shonen manga of all time. Uh, it has that chimera arc where the pacing just collapses under its own weight. But for me, it was entirely worth it just because of Meruem. And eventually, that scene with the girl whose name I forgot, I feel bad for forgetting it, but she's not really as important as him. One of the most beautiful scenes of anime of all time, and it's gonna always be one of my favorites just for that scene alone. It's gonna be higher rated than Code Geass. Code Geass was the anime of like late 2000s and early 2010s, or was it early 2010s? I forget when it came out. It was the anime. I actually prefer season 1 over season 2, despite the fact that I'm pretty sure season 2 is much higher rated, just because I don't like this guy. I thought his character was just so bad that it derailed the rest of the show. The ending is fantastic though. The ending is fantastic. I still Hunter x Hunter though, but it's close. Sorry about that. It's gonna be Code Geass. Conan has way too many episodes, which means that it has way too many bad parts. If you're gonna watch Conan, I don't recommend watching it from episode 1. I recommend going online and just seeking what best arcs in Conan are and just watching those arcs because you can watch pilot just sort of get the grip of the premise, but the premise is boy detective, crimes, there you go. Goes on for thousands of chapters, right? So just look for best arcs, arcs that people recommend you watch, and just watch those because again, it has a lot of filler first and foremost as far as anime goes. And even when it's not filler, a lot of the arcs are just kind of okay. So yeah, it's gonna be Code Geass. Moving on, we have Kobayashi Maid Dragon. Okay, so does popularity in meme culture coincide with the rating of the show? I don't think it does. I think this is gonna have under 8 of a score, despite the fact that it did like blow up in the meme culture when it came out. I don't think it was that well received because it was just a bunch of cutesy girls doing nothing for 12 episodes, which usually does sell well and is popular, but it's never rated that high because nobody wants to be known as a guy who gave 10 to that kind of an anime. I'm just pulling shit out of my ass, but I still think it's not higher than Conan. I could be wrong. Yeah. I am clever. I am clever. Shingeki no Kyojin. I never actually finished Shingeki no Kyojin. I read manga. I can't even remember when I stopped, honestly. I'm pretty sure I stopped like closely after they got to the innermost city. Because I was just kind of getting bored with the political stuff. I just wanted to see a bunch of gore, which, my bad, you know. From what I've heard, it has a contentious ending in a sense that there were a bunch of edgelords that just wanted to see him go psycho. That's my take on the like conversation around it. It's not gonna be higher rated than this, like all the time. I know one of the seasons gets to like 8.8 or 8.9, which was like super shocking to me. I have no idea what this is. It's not gonna be, I don't think, higher rated than this. So I'm just gonna gamble on what I know. Oh my god, What? What is 86? What? Okay. I have no idea what this is, but Dragon Ball Z is gonna have like around 8.0 rating just for nostalgia's sake, but that's really where it's gonna peak. It has way too much filler and way too much just, not that good of a story to be any higher than that. So I'm just gonna gamble on this. What the hell are these anime with these high ratings? Should I just go back and watch these? Oh my god, does Tensei have? I don't think it does. I don't think it does. Please, thank God. Minion Beauty, I have no idea what this is, but it has cute girls. Um, I don't know. Like, usually I would say any other anime is probably higher than this, but this is like low enough of a rating where I can see this being rated higher just, because it's such a low score. Um, you know what? I'm gonna gamble. Ugh, I shouldn't have gambled. I shouldn't have gambled. I need to stop gambling and just go with my gut instinct. So yeah, Gintama, one of the highest rated anime of all time versus Naruto Shippuden, the filler. Yeah, it's still gonna be Gintama. I'm just gonna skip the shows that I already talked about. One of the funniest shows of all time. Oh my god. Madoka Magica was a shocker when it came out. It really was because it did upturn the entire concept of Magic Girl genre on its head. I don't know how relevant it is today. I legitimately don't know, but it was the like subversion anime back in the day. I still think it's gonna have higher rating than this because, irrespective of how it's subverted, it was actually a decently well written show. It had some, low valleys, but it also had some fairly high peaks. So I'm just barely right. Oh my god, I actually expected it closer to be to. I expected it to be closer to 8.5. Um, I never watched Machi. I've heard things about it, and I planned on watching it until I read that it's just super melodramatic. At which point I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna gamble again, even though I shouldn't, on the fact that it's melodrama and it's my anime list. Uh, I should stop gambling. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm never gonna get to 10. So it's gonna be Code Geass. I need to stop gambling for sure. It's gonna be this because this is the original one. There we go. Oh fuck. I never watched the Aurora. I had plans to watch it literally because of the poster. Like I love found family tropes where an older man or an older woman takes under their wings like an orphaned child or something like that. I love because of how sweet they can be and how adorable and whimsical they can be. I'm just gonna stay with what I know. I'm not gonna gamble. I'm not gonna gamble. Thank God I did not gamble. Oh my God. I actually think Psyche has a higher rating. Because this was one of the few like super short parody anime that ever broke into the mainstream with any, within any capacity that was well received. Maybe outside of like High School Boys. So I'm gonna gamble. It's a good gamble. I knew it was fairly highly rated. It's not. It's higher rated than Shiki. Um, Shiki is gonna feel a bit outdated these days because it has just a lot of generic vampire tropes that were kind of cool, though still very much generic when it came out. By now, they were just reinventing the wheel. I don't think, and I wouldn't really recommend anyone watch it because I don't think it has anything particularly that stands out outside of like a couple of really hot anime girls. Um, I don't think it even ever really became big. It was just one of those seasonal anime that you caught in like early 2010s. I think it came out like 2008 and 2009. And it's probably going to have a low 8 rating because that's just sort of the nature of a lot of these older anime that never really received like the cultural classic. Mononoke, it's probably going to be higher rated. I Is this the Demon Slayer one? The logo is familiar, but I don't recognize any of the characters. I never watched Demon Slayer. I never watched Demon Slayer. I'm just gonna gamble, and it's a good gamble. Oh my god, High School Boys. I just mentioned them. It's like the Mozilla or this website can hear my voice. One of the classics. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't really have that high of a rating. It's gonna have higher than this for sure. Um, but it's a bit underrated in my opinion. It is a bunch of skits of high school boys doing stuff, so if you're not into that and you expect like a cohesive, consistent narrative, it's probably not a show for you. But I liked it. I rewatched it a couple of times, not recently though. I haven't watched it in the past like 5 years or so. But I have fond memories of it, and it will have slightly, yeah. I knew it was going to be above 8.2 at the very least. So we have Demon Slayer. Um, I'm just gonna gamble and say that it's higher. Probably not by a lot. It could be even worse because this seems like a sequel. So I don't know. Wow. 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 I'm just gonna. Demon Slayer fans, what are you doing? Why did you let your anime get such a low rating? Oh, crap. Okay, this is actually kind of difficult. Because I know the first season of Code Geass is a lot, not a lot worse rated than the second one, but marginally, like, at a decent amount, within like 0.2 lower than the second season. Shingeki no Kyojin, I'm fairly certain second season is slightly worse rated than the first one. Maybe the reverse of that. I'm gonna say that the score of both of these is in within like 0.05 at the most. So I'm just gonna go with Code Geass. Yeah, okay. So it was a bit of a bigger discrepancy than I expected. It's Dragon Ball Z is gonna be higher. Phantom wasn't really well received even when it came out. A lot of people had a lot of issues with it. Animation wasn't really that good, especially compared to like a more mature art style for the time. Animation was kind of stiff. It was action itself was borderline unwatchable a lot of times. It had like one good action scene, and characters were just kind of whelming. They weren't even like bad or good. They were just like whatever. So it's gonna be under 8, 100%. Yeah. Full Metal Panic. It's gonna be this one, despite the fact that I never watched. Wow, really? I thought anything Full Metal Panic related was like at least 8.2. Never mind. I am getting shafted by these like very minimally different. Um, this looks familiar, but I'm pretty sure I never watched this. Is this about manga making or anime making industry or something like that? It's gonna be Initial D, I'm pretty sure, but um, oh wow, that was closer. That was way closer than I expected. Holy crap. So Gintama, I want to get to 10 before I end this video, but we're going for half an hour and it's not happening. So I'm gonna give this and another one. Like if I don't get 10 this time around, I'm gonna give it another shot and that's gonna be it. Fate Zero, one of the. Oh wow, that's actually a lot lower than I expected. Um, I remember it's 8.51. 8.51. So just it's trying to shaft me again. I'm not gonna let it. Yeah, Fate Zero, super solid. Honestly, I liked it. Animation wise, it was. I mean, it had some stiffness, but considering the action sequences, it deserved to have those stiff frames. Some of the most beautiful action I've ever seen in anime. You tried to shaft me. No, 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 no. Ah, I'm still sure it's gonna be this, but I never watched the past. I'm pretty sure like 5 episodes of Bungo Stray Dogs, because it was just action that I wasn't vibing with, as it were. So gamble. Oh, thank God. um, I have no idea what this is. So this is my thought process right now. Okay, it's a ballroom, so it's a ballerina, not ballerina, ballet. Jesus Christ, it's a ballet anime. How many people are actually interested in watching that? Probably not that many. Would those people who are interested in this be super critical or just happy that they got something about an interest of theirs that is kind of niche. I don't know. Based on the art style, this looks like a slightly dramatic, but not melodramatic, a variant where I think it's gonna have a lower rating. I think it's gonna have a lower rating, but 8.2 is low enough that I see like a niche subject watched only by a very specific group of people being slightly highly rated than that. I think it's lower. I'm still gonna gamble because I'm a gambling man and I should not have gambled. Okay, last one. Last one. Let's make this one count. And right off the bat, I am conflicted. I'm gonna say it's Phantom Requiem for the Dream because from what I remember, Ranma wasn't well liked even when it was running, and it never got any better. Like it never really achieved a cult classic status or any manner of cult following. I'm pretty sure most of you don't even know what the fuck Ranma is. And I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. This is older than most of you, I assume. So yeah, in terms of ratings, I'm gonna say 7.7 to the 7.9. Yeah, right on the money. I swear I have not looked this up, okay? I know the older anime just a tinge more than modern one. Oh my god, this is the Eminence of the Shadows. I never watched the anime. I read manga up to a point where the parody. This is what happens with a lot of anime parodies, and it's something that I really hate. The show started with the absurdist storylines and, really making fun of a lot of the tropes of the same genres. And eventually, it just kind of got consumed by the very same tropes and cliches that it was mocking. It just kind of became the thing he was making fun of. And it just wasn't fun anymore. Like, I remember the specific chapter that I dropped the manga for. It was when they were in the dungeon and they grabbed that sword and they had like this huge fight. And there was just no comedy. There wasn't a single joke throughout the entire chapter. They were not making fun of anything. They were just straight up having an action scene that was way too over the top. Like, there was no joke. And I was like, okay, why am I reading this? This is just the thing it started off making fun of. But I will say that earlier chapters, and assuming earlier seasons in this case, were really funny. It's not gonna be higher than One Punch Man, I'm pretty sure, because my anime list doesn't like parodies that much. Like, none of the parodies are that highly rated. This is also a parody, so this is probably the highest rated parody on my anime list, if I'm being honest. So it's gonna be One Punch Man. But earlier chapters of the Eminence in the Shadows were actually really funny. Oh god, Bocce is. I'm pretty sure it's higher rated than this one. I never watched Bocce. I never watched Bocce because it's a bunch of cute girls starting a band. I am a guy in my 30s round. I have no interest in this. I never had really interest in this, but I'm pretty sure it's higher rated than this. So I'm gonna gamble. And, oh my god, what the? Really? Oh my god. Okay. Maybe I should watch Bocce, dude. Maybe I should watch it. Dr. Stone. I read like 2 chapters of manga way back in the day when it first started coming out. And it just kind of seemed like a generic shonen to me, to be honest. Never really gripped me. The premise itself was like, it was unique, but it was in line with most other shonen anime where they were just like, oh yeah, so you're making this slightly unique power system where it's not gonna be consistent whatsoever, even like 60 chapters into it. Okay. The art was really good though. It's not gonna be higher than this. Like, I'm pretty sure it's nowhere near this. Yeah, that seems about right. Um, oh my god, Charlotte. Fuck Charlotte, dude. Fuck Charlotte. I hate this anime. I'm pretty sure I gave it like 3 out of 10. Just because of how much it pissed me off. First 3, 4 episodes of this anime are solid gold. Like, they're really fun. They're making fun of a lot of tropes. They're like really self-aware. There's a lot of like subdued subtext meta commentary. Characters were fun, you know. And then the ending happens. Like, the middle of the anime is just whatever, it's kind of forgettable, nothing really happens. But the last 4 episodes, like episode 8 onwards, it became so moronic that I was screaming at my monitor when I was watching them. They were so putrid, so bad. They were like 0 out of 10 quality. Honestly, like the story took such an abrupt shift that I'm 100% certain. I have no way to confirm this, but I'm 100% certain that uh, we had body snatcher situation where the guy who wrote the first part of the anime got consumed by an alien entity that didn't know what the fuck it was doing and just wrote the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life. So it's gotta be this. That's way too high for it. This is like 3 out of 10 show. Fuck Charlotte. Uh, Kenshin has to be rated higher than this, right? Like, I'm not saying Kenshin was a good anime. It wasn't. It's kind of overrated by some of the classical anime fans. Manga is way better. Like, if you're gonna experience Kenshin, I recommend manga, but it's still higher rated than this garbage, right? Oh, thank God. Thank God. I have no idea what this is. Is this how my streak ends? Is this how the video ends? On an anime that I've never watched versus anime that I don't really even like that much? Oh my God. Do I gamble? Because this seems one of those shows that has an art style of a show that's like in the 8.4 range. Like, I'm gambling. I'm gambling. It was a bad gamble. Ah, fuck. Let's go one more, one more. I'm addicted to this, dude. Let's go one more. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep the video under 40 minutes, so we're gonna be speeding through this, but both anime that I haven't talked about. ReZero, I never really got into it. I never got into it. I watched maybe like 8, 9 episodes, and I was just bored. I didn't like the main character. I didn't like how seriously it took itself, despite the fact that it had a lot of comedy, which was this sort of juxtaposition that I really wasn't enjoying. Apollon, I watched a long time ago. I didn't really like it. It was fine. It was fine, but it was just one of those anime that, again, took itself just a smidgen too seriously. It wasn't even a smidgen, it just took itself way too seriously. Um, the question is, which one of them would Maul like more? I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's probably Apollon, but I don't think either of them are rated super highly because they were not melodramatic enough to the point that the Maul would be, drooling over them. Right, and they were not funny enough or non-melodramatic enough to the point where the mom was like, fuck that. So I'm just gonna go and guess that it's Apollon. Yeah. This is what I expected. This is sort of what I expected in terms of rating. So Gintama, what we have now, Death Note. Death Note, a classic. Uh, One part of the show is 10 out of 10. Actually, it's not 10 out of 10. It's close to like 9.5 out of 10. And the other part of the show is like a solid 5 out of 10. So it lands somewhere in the middle. Still has a super high rating because legitimately the first part of the anime was super well written. Oh my God. I have no idea what this is. Um, I would like in a heartbeat just vote Death Note because it's two cute girls. But the art style is one of those, hey, cute girls, but it's actually super depressing and tragic. And Maul just loves they love their tragedies, dude. I'm still gonna guess Death Note. Oh, thank God. It's not that highly rated. I don't know what this is. I didn't watch either one of those. This is where my former Addict title comes into play. I'm gonna guess this. Thank God. That was close. Kodokono Basket. Is it gonna have I mean, by the second season, really the only people watching it were the fans. People interested in realistic basketball dropped this in like 4 episodes. People who were just marginally interested dropped it after the first season. Um, but did the second season give the fans what they wanted? I don't know because I didn't watch it. I was one of the folk who dropped it after the first season because I was like, okay, so they pretty much beat all of them except I think one of them. That's fine. That's good enough for me. I'm just gonna vote it, and yeah, let's just wrap it up here. I'm not getting that 10. It's evident. I gotta go have lunch. Um, I had fun. I got to talk a little bit about anime. I got to find some highly rated anime that I like 86. I gotta check it out. Like it's swirling in my brain now. 8.7. Why the fuck does it have such a high rating? Um, so yeah, I hope you guys had fun. I hope you enjoyed watching me make a fool out of myself without even being able to get to 10. I feel like that's kind of pathetic, honestly. Um, but yeah, the average score is 5. I got to like 8. I'm above average. That's all I ever wanted out of life. Um, if you want me to do this again, let me know. I really would like to try it and get to 10. Uh, do flame my hot takes. Like, I'm pretty sure I shat on some of the anime that a lot of people liked. Thank God, thank God I didn't get Clannad or Yulai in April or Anohana, because I would have said some stuff that would probably have people send assassins after me. So, yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys some other time.